Quite a few years ago, I was in a fight for my life against the formidable foe that we call diabetes. I was in the pre-diabetic stages where my body and my pancreas were gamely trying to win the battle, but were in fact clearly losing it. During that time, I had an episode which turned out to be very enlightening to me later on, when I was able to see what was really going on. But at the time, it was terrifying. My blood sugar was jumping from very high to extremely low, and I felt horrible. I had other serious bouts with runaway blood sugar in those days. One of the major ones happened while I was at home, watching a movie with my family. At that point, I'd read that the secret to overcoming diabetes was to eliminate meat from your diet. I got some bad advice there. Of course, when you do that, what happens is you end up eating a lot more carbohydrates than ever. Everyone else that night was enjoying fried chicken, while I was trying to be a good boy and eat healthy. So I passed on the chicken, and I ate spaghetti with a meatless sauce. I was so ignorant, I had no clue that those spaghetti noodles were going to do a real number on my blood sugar, and I naively thought I was doing my body a favor by passing up the chicken. Now, when your blood sugar levels are jumping all over the place, you almost never feel it when they go high. We can usually have sky-high blood sugar and feel just fine. In fact, we may even feel wonderful. But when you're having the extremes of blood sugar at both ends of the spectrum, like I was, your blood sugar will usually plummet a couple of hours after it reached its peak. And then you'll feel it. Believe me, you will feel it. And I surely did that night. After my big spaghetti dinner, a few hours later, my blood sugar began to drop and drop and drop. Finally, I was shaky and feeling miserable, and I went into the bathroom to test myself. Sure enough, it was dangerously low. I think it was around 45 or 40. I knew I had to get it up, and so I drank a 12-ounce soda, I think it was a Coke, in about a minute. Well, that did the trick, but the jumping all over the place really affected my body, and I began to tremble uncontrollably. Finally, I did the only thing I knew to do. I got in bed, crawled under the covers, and lay there trembling and hoping this would pass. Well, it did pass eventually, but I knew I could never go on this way. Something had to be done. I went to a doctor, but this particular doctor was not an expert on diabetes, and she wasn't a whole lot of help. She took out some kind of a questionnaire and asked me a lot of different questions. My fasting blood sugar was in the normal range, so this didn't raise any red flags there. Several years ago, another doctor had given me an A1C test, but this too was in the normal range. What I didn't realize was that in the pre-diabetic stage, you can have normal readings on these tests, but you can still be very highly insulin resistant. Your pancreas works just fine. The problem is you're so insulin resistant that it's working itself to death, and your body is constantly filled with insulin produced by your overworked pancreas trying to keep up with the huge amounts of carbohydrates that you're shoveling into your tired, insulin-resistant body. You'll go high and then you'll drop low, but by the time you take a fasting blood sugar test, your levels will have returned to normal, leaving you and your doctor to assume that all is well, when in fact all may not be well at all. In those days, I was having so many blood sugar episodes that I started eating something every 3 hours or so just to make sure that my blood sugar didn't drop too low. Still, I didn't get the one truth that would eventually set me free, and that is that pre-diabetics and diabetics simply cannot eat carbohydrates at the same levels that others do. The video clip you've been watching was taken from our first video in the series Overcome Runaway Blood Sugar. You can get the single DVD from which this video was taken, or the series of 5 videos which we produced by going to our website, spiritofgrace.org/diabetes. If you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, you need all the help and all the resources you can lay your hands on. I've written 2 books, created a number of videos, and started this YouTube channel for the purpose of inspiring you and helping you to know that diabetes is not unbeatable. With a good doctor, a little knowledge, and a little motivation, you'll be surprised at just how quickly your body will respond to a change in lifestyle. If you're diabetic, I'd encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Then click the bell and then click on the Send Me All Notifications box, and that way you'll be notified every time we post a new video on this Beat Diabetes channel. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. That way the YouTube folks will rank it higher in their search engine and more people will be able to see it. Well, that's it for now. God bless, and see you again soon.